You think you rescued your dog. You walked into that shelter, scanned the kennels, and pointed at the one with the sad eyes. You signed the papers and paid the fee. You drove home convinced you had just done something noble. But the truth, one that science is only now beginning to understand, is far more humbling. That dog was not chosen by you on that afternoon. That dog was placed in your path by a force far older and more deliberate than coincidence. Stay with me until the end of this video, because the final truth about why they were placed here will change how you look at your dog forever. It begins 30,000 years ago on the edge of an Ice Age forest, when a pack of wolves made a decision that altered the destiny of two species. Let me tell you what really happened. Picture an Ice Age campfire on the frozen edge of a vast forest, orange flames casting long, trembling shadows across fields of snow. At the tree line, a pack of gray wolves watches the humans, not with hunger, but with something far stranger: recognition. These wolves saw in those humans the same things they valued in their own packs: cooperation, shared meals, fierce protection of the young. And here's the miracle. The humans, for the first time in history, looked back at a predator and did not reach for a weapon. One wolf stepped forward into the firelight, one human extended an open hand, and an ancient covenant was sealed. This was not domestication by force. This was a choosing, a mutual survival pact between two species who recognized themselves in each other. That 30,000-year-old genetic memory still pulses inside every single dog alive on this planet today. Now let me show you something that, by every rule of biology, should not exist between two entirely different species. When you and your dog lock eyes for more than a few seconds, something extraordinary happens inside both of you simultaneously. Your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the same chemical cascade that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn. And so does your dog's. At the same moment, this cross-species hormonal loop exists nowhere else in nature. Not with cats, not with horses, only with dogs. They hijacked the human parental bonding system, inserting themselves into our most sacred biological attachment circuit. They read our facial expressions with a left-gaze bias, scanning the right side of our face exactly the way human infants study their mother. And they identify our emotional state by scent alone, distinguishing fear sweat from joy sweat with near-perfect accuracy. Your dog knows how you feel before you say a word. Here is what makes dogs fundamentally different from every other creature that shares our homes. Your dog does not care about your job title, your bank account, your past mistakes, or any of the ways the world has told you that you are not enough. They respond only to the quality of your presence, your patience when they are learning, your kindness when they are afraid, your consistency when they need to know the world is safe. In doing so, they hold up a mirror to your truest self, the one buried beneath years of performance, beneath the armor you put on every morning to face a judging world. The person your dog believes you are, generous, safe, worthy of wild tail wags at the door. That is the person you are capable of becoming. Dogs do not judge the version of you that the world has worn down. They see the version God intends, and they treat that version as already real, already worthy of unconditional love. Now let me tell you when dogs most commonly enter a person's life. Once you hear this pattern, you will never see it as coincidence again. Right before a divorce, 6 months after a devastating loss, in the loneliest, most isolated season of someone's existence. They arrive on the very edge of despair, and unlike the humans who do not know what to say, they do not flinch at the tears. They do not look away. They keep you on a schedule when depression is begging you to stay in bed with the curtains drawn and the world locked outside. The clinical data is undeniable. Dog owners have lower cortisol, lower blood pressure, and significantly reduced cardiac mortality. And here is the statistic that should stop your heart. Dog ownership is associated with a measurably lower risk of suicide. Your dog is biologically preserving you. Which brings us to the hardest truth of all, the one you have been avoiding since the first moment you loved a dog. Dogs do not live as long as we do. And when you understand the reason, it will break your heart open and put it back together in a new shape. They do not need to learn the lesson. They arrive already knowing how to love without condition, to forgive without record, to live entirely inside the present moment. They complete their mission faster because they are not here to grow. They are here to teach. They are living parables wrapped in fur, breathing demonstrations of a love so pure it makes theologians weep. Your dog was placed in your life not as a possession, but as a daily reminder that you are capable of being loved completely, without qualification, without earning it. And if you are capable of being loved that way, then you are capable of loving that way in return. That is the transfer. That is the point. God sent you a dog so you would never forget what unconditional love looks like. And when their sacred work is complete, they go home.